Good morning, Sven, the road god here. It is Sunday, May 17th, and we're at the start of a 4 to 5 day heat wave. The temperatures have just been up and down. Hot, cold, hot, cold. So it's a roller coaster spring, but here we are again for the first walkthrough of the 2026 PHILSHIRE Farms. And we've got a hops vine growing up a fake plastic tree that I trash picked. And that is French sorrel. And here we are going to have, which are starting to come up, black-eyed peas. They're called long bean in India, and we have the hyacinth bean or lab, and that's what they call that in India, and they'll be growing on that trellis. Little sunflower action going on there. I love these ice plants. And of course the verbena and the petunia. And this guy, osteospermum. I always call it osteosternum, like it's some part of your body. All right, bachelor's buttons, love them, new this year. And look, oh my gosh, rose campion is blooming. It's gonna be killer. Foxglove. I never understood how foxes wear those things on their hands. But there's another cool petunia and flowering arugula. And this is new this year. Nemesia. And celosia. And this is a new kind of perennial verbena, purple. And look over here, the California poppies. Thanks, Wendy Morrow. Nice. Gazania. These are new. Lampodium. And these are the return of the wildflower mix that we planted last year. These are Mexican sunflower. I started them from seed. They should be red. And oh, the Iceland poppy. I just love poppies. And this tall thing here is Anise hyssop. And that is a Ford hook zucchini, and that is a white sage. And we have tomatoes in these pots right here. And this is false parsley. I grabbed the seeds on a nature walk, threw them last year, and this year they grew. It attracts pollinators. These are black berries and black raspberries. These are blackberries. What am I saying? I don't even know what I got here. Blackberries. And the Chicago hardy fig. red hibiscus. The perennial hibiscuses have not come up yet. And lots of thorned blackberries. Ow. Spider plants. Christmas cactus. Thank you, Mr. Brian, for this aquarium, because that's where an orchid and a Christmas cactus and a pineapple and a crown of thorns and a calancho and a vat. And this is the Chinese money plant that is coming back from dying inside the house over the winter. And here is the Mega Colossa giant, super crazy fig, which is just coming to life. Last year at this time it was leafed out. There is a Boston head of lettuce. Look at that purple verbena, assorted verbena. This video is choppy because it's hard to walk through the maze of this giant urban garden. Wormwood. And another ice plant. Portulaca. Poor Chewbacca. There's a banana mint hiding out down there. I started these from seeds. Cardinal basil. It's like a licoricey smelling basil, sort of like a Thai basil, but it gets like red flowers, which would be interesting. Snapdragon. I think this is lobelia, yes. It gets really tall and flowers late summer. A rosemary. A row of plum tomatoes, a row of cannas, catmint and alyssum planted together. Catmint is the darker of the purples. Butterfly weed. And this lilac was pretty awesome this year. And more of the wildflowers. And this is a Biden. I call him Joe. Those are calancho. I don't remember. Calabrachoa. Calabrachoa. Nasturtium. So see, it's just the fig is not even figging yet, really. But I'm glad it's not dead. That would be sad. And we have mosquito plants, and look at these guys. Currently, I can't find the berries. I know they're here though. Catnip. I'm not leaving till 4. We'll be get out before that. These are upside down playpens, which I configured into making raised bed covers to protect the lettuce when it was young and early. Spider plant. Tomatoes and basil and long cucumbers. Those little cucumber plants in the back. This is a cherry tree. Mountain mint. Mountainy. Clematis and Sophia. How you doing, girl? And Livia's chicken. Here's a baby rosemary. Rosemary's baby. That's a Sambach jasmine. We've got sun patience in the white pots and a red geranium up top there. More like chives, more or less order up, petunias, extra well done. I mean, this is a deli, right? We got cucumbers and morning glories and all kinds of stuff started. Another rosemary, a bush cherry, a Granny Smith apple tree. Hopefully get some apples next year. Burpee Sweet 100 cherry. These 4 pots will be Dark Star tomatoes. The very back of that giant Alan Bender trellis thing that he had fabricated is going to be cucumber and Burpee Sweet 1 million. That's a German Johnson tomato you see the top of over there. A blueberry bush with no blueberries because the sparrows eat the buds. Red bell pepper, lots of dill. These are all red bells. And more banana mint. Clematis. This is a blue clematis. This is Evelyn Granter. My mom, Evelyn Granter, planted this clematis at home, and I brought it here, a cutting of it. This is a Parks Whopper improved. Baby tomato. Strawberries. Coneflowers taking over everything. This is not a coneflower bed. This is strawberries with a coneflower growing in it, just like the raspberries growing there. I didn't plant them or that pine tree. Slicer tomatoes. Another Biden. Another pine tree. Another pine tree. I just collect baby pine trees. If something starts growing from seed, I try to give it a home. These are all coneflower and coneflower. And that is a lily. And this is a hen and chicken. And these are going to be the black dahlia, which I love with the yellow center. Bay laurel, tiger lily. I realize this is a crazy, choppy walkthrough, but I just wanted to get an idea of this year's garden before it really starts going crazy. The grapes, this is a seeded, like, dark grape. I cut the vines back. They were wrapping around the whole shed, and it was too much plant for too little container. These are thorned raspberries. More portulaca. Always marigolds stuck everywhere. These are thornless blackberries. And they just go forever and ever and ever. And there's going to be 1,428 thornless blackberries. And here we go with the raspberry that I didn't plant. This is like an old tire down there, which you probably can't see. But anyways, catnip, it's just growing out of the crack in the parking lot, and I didn't plant that grape right there. And those are all thorned raspberries, so it's basically just thorned raspberries and thorned blackberries and thornless blackberries all stuck in there. This is basil row, a parsley. The dill is just crazy. I mean, it just seeds everywhere. I love my giant fennel plant there. But I usually let it grow a little bit and then just weed it out as I need dill. And this is a Shasta daisy that came back from last year. Beauregard sweet potatoes, flowering sages, just eggplants and tomatoes and this is a cutting from the giant fig. I think it's a honey fig, but this has been here for 4 or 5 years and this is doing pretty good. And this is what the thornless blackberries are planted in. Most of the berries are just planted in these old Tupperware tubs. These are raised beds, right? This is one of the only 2 actual raised beds that I actually have. They're all just repurposed sandboxes and crazy stuff. But this is red sales lettuce. Just look at those heads of lettuce. They're just crazy. Chocolate sprinkles cherry. Monarda bee balm. And that is a Diplodenia, which is a bush mandevilla. And strawberries in a strawberry pot. That's where they go, right? Okay. Beefsteak tomato, tarragon, thyme, rosemary. We've got all the herbs from the song, you know. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Stupid fair. Ow. Another osteospermum, a dark colored one. More coneflower, white geranium. It's interesting how you move through this garden. There's just certain paths and that kind of thing. Here's more strawberries. Another look at the tiger lily. It's going to be amazing. You'll have to watch the shorts as they pop up this summer. Hi guys. Because they will have the individual visitations of each plant. Look at these stargazer lilies. Holy giant lily, Batman. There's almost going to be no paths soon because everything is just going crazy. I didn't plant that raspberry. Those are little baby plants that I have isolated for planting or give away. And here's hot pepper row. You got red ember, which is like a cayenne, and jalapeno, and 3 cucumbers. I think they're pickling cucumbers. This is a poblano ancho, long hot, I guess cowhorn pepper, red habanero. Oh yeah, that's a green pot is a hot cherry, and behind that is a serrano, and this guy is a super chili. Just look at all these berries. It's a virtual sea of berries. Nobody would expect this. Parking lot. See, it's an actual raised bed. Lettuce. And there was 4 collards here. I harvested 3 to make space for that little baby zucchini because that's where he's going to be. And I'll keep this collard and use the harvest lower leaves, let it grow into a tree method. This is a goji berry bush. This is a gooseberry. And these are dwarf cosmos seeds that came up. Thank you, Sandy Berger. But this is freaking amazing. Look at this clematis. I mean, the blooms are just so like roses or something. It's just awesome. I bought this at Springdale Farms, where I bought almost every plant that you see in this garden because they are amazing. The last operating family-owned farm in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which used to just be all farms. So Springdale Farms, Springdale Road, you gotta support these guys. Dill. Look at this valerian root. They make Valium out of it, but see, I don't make Valium. But I love the smell of those flowers. It's like baby powder and vanilla combined. Or I don't know how to describe it, but it's pretty freaking awesome. And there's, as I was saying, that's a sandbox with lettuce growing in it. That's my raised bed. Mickey and Gopi, what's up, guys? Eggplants, they're having a problem. I don't know, they're having a problem rooting. I think they got slammed by the cold. I planted these guys like 8 weeks ago, and I'm hoping they come back. Otherwise, we'll use this real estate for something else. Lemon, verbena, pineapple, sage. And this is lemongrass. All right, we had a visitor. This is lemongrass. I think I said that. And just, you know, so there's many kinds of tomatoes. I think I did 4 or 5 plum tomatoes that we saw them already. And lots of different heirloom tomatoes, steak tomatoes, slicer tomatoes, a couple of yellow tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes, there'll be sun golds and sweet 1 million, sweet 100, bush cherry. Also, this is a really cool thing. These little guys right down here, these are currant tomatoes. Yeah, of course they're currant tomatoes. What do you think they are? What are they going to be? Something else tomorrow? No. They're red currant, or also known as teaspoon tomatoes. They're little tiny tomatoes about the size of a currant, and they're currently growing. I don't know. I think this garden's pretty cool. It's definitely gotten a bit bigger. So let's do the last section here. There's the valerian. And see, this guy, that's Remus. And this lady up here, that's Mrs. Remus. All right. Oh, rue. I rue the day when that grows. And that's Indian mint down underneath there. I guess it's a spearmint from India. There's so many kinds of mint. Woke up with a monster. All right, potatoes. These are basically butterball, like German butterball. And tomato, that's a brandywine. And more cardinal basil, and another brandywine, and pink German Nemamian. Look at that gooseberry bush. Red sales lettuce being harvested, and another valerian, and some romaine. a baby of the tiger lily. And I just bought this. Oh, there's the Vietnamese coriander. Ow. And I just bought this butterfly bush right here because the dwarf bush that was here didn't seem to do well over the winter. Lavender sort of coming back. Another Beauregard sweet potato. Stock. Take stock in that plant. That's a blue hyssop that I dug up and gave it a home. I got hyssop grows wild, catnip grows wild, tall verbena grows wild, sunflowers I planted from seed. The wild arugula grows wild. Hey, figure that out. There's a evening primrose. Thanks, Charlotte. Oriental poppy. And more of the California poppies. And we got sweet potatoes in the canvas bags. And in the middle there is a Emerald Tower basil. And this is lacinato kale. These are Claris seedlings, holy basil, cardinal basil, Mexican sunflower, regular basil. These are the sunflower seedlings, and then nasturtium, anise hyssop, catnip, and this is Kasha's basil. This is Kasha's parsley and rosemary, hopefully bouncing back from the winter. There's a valerian, and that is a Aruba sweet pepper. I guess it's kind of like a Cubanelle. And these are red Norland potatoes. Looking forward to a good potato harvest. And this is a baby Lord Baltimore red hibiscus, the only one that seemed to survive. I planted some other red hibiscuses that I got from my buddy Bob, but we'll see what happens with that. So this was a painfully boring video, I'm certain, but it's not the end. As I said, I'll be making crazy amounts of shorts. But I will also make a couple other walkthroughs. I'll do another one next month, maybe early July when things are really popping. But if you're one of the one people that follows this channel, counting myself, you'll be able to see the difference as it progresses throughout the season. But this is our little ghetto garden, PHILSHIRE Farms. Thanks so much to Phil Hausler, the owner of the world famous Phil's Deli and Market, and to the Spirit Shop liquor store, and to Kasha's Bakery for allowing this to occur. And of course a shout out to Mitchell, because he owns the parking lot. All right, real quick, I know exactly the amount of space to leave, so when the wind blows over the trash can lids, it doesn't smash the plants. And that's what these are. These are trash can lid smashing preventers. All right. We shall see you soon. Thanks for coming to PHILSHIRE Farms on May 17th. See you soon.